I'm incredibly awkward in front of, like, you're filming something, because this is like, for me, to me, this is like, oh, I'm doing homework. I have to present this to someone, and like everything that I've done in school, it's just gonna be hopelessly shat upon, and I'm gonna get an F, and everyone's gonna hate me. And
it's the internet. Everyone is extremely nice on the internet. Everyone is extremely accepting and embracing of people who are different, right?
Am I different because I'm bald?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. I love video games. I'm a big video game nerd. I guess I'm what you would call a bit of a casual gamer. However, yeah, I'm a casual gamer. I mean, I love the industry. I love the video game industry. But my friend Franco, say hi.
Hi.
Franco is what we would call a hardcore gamer, because what do you play and what do you do, and introduce yourself.
I like to play a lot of competitive games, so I'm very into Dota and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. If it were up to me, I'd be a professional gamer. I'm not like the best gamer around. I'm not like that kid who plays 1,000 hours into something like Ninja Gaiden just to do Path of the Warrior with no damage taken. Like, I'm not that good. I just love playing games. I played games since I was very young. The first game I ever played was a side-scrolling Mario clone where you were Barbie and you ran around throwing jewelry at fashionistas that were amorphous. You really couldn't really tell what was going on, and you always died at the end because it was impossible. And I've owned basically every console since then to the present. I just don't have an Xbox One.
You had an Atari. You had an Atari. Right?
I have an Atari 2600. Wow. I should have kept it. My uncle had a ColecoVision at his house, and I should have just taken it, and then one day he threw it out, so you win some, you lose some.
Nuts. I mean, I've had N64, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then PlayStation, Xbox, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4. But you're a huge PC gamer. You have your own Twitch. You stream on Twitch.
I do.
What's your Twitch?
My stream and handle is twitch.tv/Franco. That's F-R-U-N-K-O-H, or you can see it here. So when I was playing games as a kid, you went to a store, right, and you saw a Nintendo game, and I was like, whoa, that character looks kind of cool. You never really knew what kind of game you were getting until you shelled out, what was it, $5, $10 to get it. And it was hit or miss, and whatever. If you hated it, it was still kind of fun anyway, because games back then were just simplistic, easy to play, easy to learn, whatever. Nowadays, you get into a game, and it's like you're watching a movie before you even get into a game, and you know, you have these unrealistic presentations of games that are coming out, and they're overly simplified or watered down from what they're really trying to sell you.
E3, you know, you have all, like, oftentimes, I mean, it's like a huge factor of, like, a really good game, or even, like, just what wows the audiences, is if you see the text actual in-game footage, because it's become such a problem that people have pre-rendered footage when they're showing off a game, which is extremely misleading.
It is. It is. Like, you know, you see games like Call of Duty or Halo where you're showing this crazy hectic combat, and you get into a game and you know what it's like. You're hiding behind cover for a while, your eyes start bleeding, shoot at things a couple times and your eyes stop bleeding, and you go on and there's like nothing ever happened. You just have a million bullet holes in you. Sometimes a limb comes flying off from when that tank hit you with an explosive round, but you're okay, just hang out for a few. Your body automatically regenerates. Yeah. So, games are overhyped, and I think that's a huge problem, especially since when you are trying to buy a game, specifically before it even comes out, when you pre-order a game, because you really have no promise or guarantee that the game you are thinking you're going to play is the game you're actually going to play. Which
is the topic of today's video. It's pre-ordering games. Everybody has like a love-hate relationship with GameStop. I still go there sometimes because, I mean, hey, it's just...
I go there because it's convenient.
It's convenient.
I rack up a ton of points and I get discounts.
Yeah, so. But every time I go there, they're like, huh, you want to... I mean, they'll ask like, hey, you want to put $3 down for scratch protection? No, I don't want to do that. Do you want to subscribe to Game Informer? No, I don't want to do that. Do you want to pre-order any other games? No, I don't actually pre-order games.
Game Informer's pretty good.
Is it?
Just saying.
Alright.
I like reading. It's, if, you know, people like reading magazines on the toilet, or maybe I'm just old-fashioned, Game Informer's a good toilet reader.
Most people have their mobile phones when they're on the toilet.
I like a magazine.
That's
in
kind
my
of gross.
hands. You flip the page.
Yeah.
There's no fecal matter. I'm not touching my poop on the magazine. I'm not wiping my ass with Game Informer and then going to the next page.
Okay, that's true. Pre-ordering games. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Does it hurt the gaming industry? Does it benefit the consumer in any sort of way? So for those who are unfamiliar with what pre-ordering a game is, you're essentially forking over your cash before a game is officially released, and you're reserving the game. However, nowadays, you have GameStop, you have Walmart, you have Best Buy, and they order massive quantities of games. So even if you don't pre-order a game, guaranteed if you show up day one, you're still going to be able to get a copy of that game if you don't pre-order it. And in return for pre-ordering a game, you're usually given special bonuses and things like, well, like this.
Thank you, Big Eye. Target secured.
Be the eye in the sky. Get the high-altitude flight suit avatar for your console when you pre-order Call of Duty Black Ops at GameStop.
Nice. Insanely expensive, but nice.
Hit exactly what you're aiming for with the Precision Battle Pack, including a gun, camo, and team play boost when you pre-order Battlefield Hardline from GameStop. Sometimes, you're the prey. When hunting season starts, make sure you've got the right gear. Pre-order Halo 5 Guardians. Get the Spartan Lock armor set, only at GameStop. Product not yet rated.
Most of these pre-order commercials are usually just highly stylized machinimas that don't actually happen in the game, and it's all for the sake of highlighting a bonus like a weapon, a skin, or an avatar that doesn't exactly affect the gameplay of the game.
If you're that kid who prides himself on having a golden AK when the game gets launched, then more power to you. Or if you have an avatar that says, I pre-ordered this game, are you really going to use it? You're going to be that guy.
Now, you can usually get your money back if you pre-order a game and if you decide to change your mind, but you know, a lot of people, it's the same thing as like a monthly subscription. A lot of people, when they put $5 down, they think, it's just $5, and then if they want to cancel it, they'll forget to cancel it, and it's just a waste of $5. Oftentimes, if you do try and cancel a pre-order, the people, namely at GameStop, will entice you to
buy something else.
Put it down on something else that's coming out. You know, we got a new Madden that's coming out. But the dynamic that pre-ordering sets is kind of not that great, because essentially what it is you're putting money down for the hype of the game and not the actual...
You have no idea what you're going to actually get.
Not the actual quality of the game, which is kind of insane, right?
Right.
Most of this is done by the retailers and by the publishers to drive sales before the game is even released, which kind of sets a standard of hype over quality again. You have a lot of rushed games as a result.
It does, and you can upset a lot of players really quickly when you push out a game that's either not completed or, you know, for people like me, I like playing games on the computer. A lot of times what happens is if a game's coming on the console and also being released for a computer, you get the crappiest port you'll ever play. It's not optimized at all. It runs like crap, and maybe they'll push out an update or two, smooth out the really game-breaking errors, but you're up $60 essentially because you're going to be upset with this game. So the next time a company like that releases another $60 title and they push you to pre-order, you're like, do I really want to though? Are you sure you're not going to hurt my feelings again?
Are things better?
They're not. My trust has been shaken, and it's been shaken time and time and time again.
And I mean, you know, there's so many resources. I mean, you talk whether or not you like official critic reviews and whatnot, or whether or not you pay attention to that. I mean, there's so many people on YouTube and so many independent reviewers like Total Biscuit, Nerdcube, The Escapists, who do a really good job at reviewing games. I think you're actually much more informed as a consumer if you pay attention to those reviewers before you actually make a game purchase. And there's also something called like a review embargo, in which publishers and developers send a game to reviewers. They give them, you know, an advanced copy or an early copy, so that way they can play test it and then review it, write up their review, and then they'll usually sometimes lift the embargo either the day before the game is released or even early on in the actual release day. But a prime example is Assassin's Creed Unity, which was, we all know, an unmitigated disaster. And I mean, they've since kind of fixed some things to make it playable in future patches.
They had to literally degrade the whole game in its entirety so that way it even ran.
But what they did with their review embargo is they actually lifted the review embargo the afternoon that the game was released. Why? Well, probably because they knew that it was a rushed job and that it was probably going to be poorly reviewed, which it was. but it still got the sales because so many people pre-ordered it.
And buy into this Assassin's Creed franchise,
exactly.
which is huge. It is a huge franchise,
Huge.
but when you have these cookie-cutter, copy-paste games, you know, you're expecting something quality, and, you know, Assassin's Creed Online, great, sign me up for that. I want to play with my friends. We can run around, assassinate people, get into hectic combat, all that fun stuff. But if you're going to make a game that sucks, don't tell me to pre-order it. So we were talking earlier about a game some of you may know as Alone in the Dark. And if any of you had the unfortunate mispleasure of playing even 10 seconds of that game, you know it was a festering pile of shit.
That was a horrible, horrible game. And I was so hyped up for that game. I was really waiting for it. I thought, this is kind of cool, you know, Alone in the Dark. It's kind of a pretty well-known, you know, name, aside from the Uwe Ball film, which is terrible. But, you know, it was such a cool, and the concept was cool and everything like that, and you get it. And it was voiced by the guy who voiced Max Payne. Max Payne, that's awesome. And you get it, and you play it,
and you hate it.
and it's terrible.
And and again, you wasted 60 whole freaking dollars.
And you
for this
pre-ordered
game.
it too.
And you
already gave them your money. You already gave them your money.
And what are you gonna get? You go back to GameStop. I really didn't like this game.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you $10 for that because it's now a used copy.
Cash or credit?
I think I want cash.
Ooh, well then you're only gonna get $5 whole if you're lucky.
Okay, then give me credit. How much do I get for credit?
15.
Okay, fine, I guess I'll do it. I mean, that's kind of the thing that happens, and that's kind of a crappy scenario, right? The consumer has like
no say,
no
power. You know, these companies should be trying to show off a product that demonstrates what they're really truly capable of.
As a consumer, if you really want to take a stand against game developers and game publishers and say, hey, no, you need to have higher standards for games. Again,
don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Or wait till it goes on sale.
Don't buy into all that hype.
If you're gonna pay $60 for a game and you're gonna cry that it sucks, well, you're kind of the fool for it.
Look at the Battlefield games. Really glitchy, right? Really, really glitchy. And that's, you know, that's why I'm really worried about Battlefront. Because I love Star Wars. I really love the Battlefront games. I'm kind of worried that DICE is taking it over. They've also been known for, you know, DLC that costs another $50. And I'm kind of worried about that because I love the Battlefront games.
You're gonna get Battlefield 4, Battlefront 2.
And I don't want that to happen.
The big issue with the day one launch is you never really know what you're gonna expect, right? So at least if you're on the fence about a game, you can wait until the reviews come out, and you know, if a game was mediocre at best and it wasn't well received, but you can see that some people enjoyed it for various reasons and others not so much. You can at least rest assured that prices in games drop down rather quickly.
It's going to be a sale or something like that at some point.
There's always something going on, and a $60 game might turn into something like $40 or even as much as $30 within months. Not months.
Within a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, and we're not saying that we hate games because there's pre-orders available.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say that, like, pre-orders are, like, 100% like a bad thing and that, you know, everybody shouldn't do it. It's just...
It comes with a grain of salt.
It comes with a grain of salt, and I think at the end of the day, you just need to be an informed consumer because we all, I mean, we can all agree. I think every gamer can agree. We all want a quality game. We all want a really good video game.
We want the next best thing.
Right. But sometimes what happens with game developers is that when there's a trend that they know that they're going to get the sales based off pre-orders, they start to rush development. And that can tend to lead to poor quality games.
It's true. You know, people, they like to sell out. And obviously for business, more money means better business. So why wouldn't you want to make more money?
And that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, it's a business. The gaming industry is a business. You know, we all like to think that games are awesome forms of entertainment and great awesome forms of art. But at the end of the day, it's about business, it's about money, it's about driving sales.
Looking at you, EA.
Looking at you. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that pre-ordering games is a bad thing? Do you think it's a good thing? Are you gonna pre-order, you know, Fallout 4? Are you gonna pre-order Battlefront? Or are you someone who, you know, kind of agrees with us and says, hey, I'm not really gonna pre-order? Let us know in the comments below. Leave this video a like, and check out other videos that are gonna be coming. Thanks for watching.
Thanks,
Check you guys later.